Cody May.
And this is a Colorado Author Interview Circle. And today we are talking with Captain Andrea Stein.
Do we have to do this?
At ease.
Yeah, we do.
At ease.
Okay,
Sure.
now I have to be full disclosure. We're full disclosure.
Yes.
Okay.
Andrea and I are co-writing
Yes.
a contemporary romance set on the high seas together.
You guys have put a lot of work in
A
that.
series. Yeah, series.
And it's epic.
Yes, epic series.
And your background, so she's my roommate at writers conferences, and
Oh,
so I
really?
remember talking, and you have lived. I think you're vampire. I'm pretty sure
Okay.
because you've lived more.
That
You've done
sounds
more.
offensive.
You've done more in your life than
Uh-huh.
is, you could fit into one lifetime.
Yes, I have.
So I think it's multiple.
I
right?
think I have lived a lot.
I'm out of the loop. I have
In
no
one
idea
life.
what.
One life, yeah.
Because you were a newspaper editor.
Mm-hmm.
You then were a sailor.
Right.
A first mate
What?
on delivering yachts for the rich.
Yes, I did that for 3 years.
You went from an editor to
Yes,
a mate.
I
On a
did.
ship?
Yes, I did. I got my captain's license and delivered yachts, and then I worked for 7 years as a ski patroller at Copper Mountain here in Colorado.
And teaching cross country skiing.
And I teach
Wow.
cross country skiing.
And then
And
the
then-
men, all of the men in Andrea's life,
A lo-
and
lot
I'm
of
just
men.
one of them.
Yeah, I put them all in my books.
So you okay? So
Do
you're
I get a place in your
Sure.
books? Yeah.
Sure.
now, and so you are. So okay. So
Yeah.
you have 2 books out now.
Yes.
Fortune's Horizon,
Uh-huh.
Boom.
and these are historical romances.
Right.
Heavy on the history,
Heavy on history.
but there's kissing.
There's substantial sex in my books.
Graphic
Yeah,
sex?
Yes.
Is it
cha-ching.
erotic?
No,
No.
it is not.
No, it's not
erotic,
erotica,
but it's it's explicit.
That's
and
okay.
Yeah.
It's a spicy.
That's okay. That's
It's spicy.
It's a
Yeah, I think
spicy
that's-
meet the
I
bone.
like
Yeah.
spice.
Yeah. So that was my first book and these
Horizon.
are all self-published. Yeah.
And they're really well formatted and designed.
Thank
Great
you.
job.
And the cover. So the cover art. So these
That's
are
a ski
men you
patroller.
knew.
These are ski patrollers.
Ski patrollers
These are actually
Colorado ski
them.
patrollers.
from
yeah.
Breckenridge,
Well, they're from Copper Mountain.
from Copper
Okay.
Mountain.
Yeah, both of them.
And they agreed to be on your book cover.
They did
Brave men.
in exchange for every year I do a 2% contribution to their favorite charities. This is Drew Gibson, and his favorite charity is the Brees Kinnickmeyer Foundation, which helps patrollers who are injured if they need
Oh.
surgery,
Oh, wow.
special surgery. And then this guy is an avalanche dog handler, and he raises the dogs, trains them, and his special charity is the volunteers who help FEMA when there are big disasters around the
Yeah.
country. They don't get paid. They don't get any compensation for their dogs. They're all volunteers, and when the dogs get injured, there's they have to pay for it out of their own pockets. So the 2% of sales of this book go to that group.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, it pays for their travel, for training, that kind of
Really
thing.
cool.
Yeah.
So Andrea K. Stein, what's the K stand for?
Kathleen.
Kathleen.
But there's another Andrea Stein who's a romance writer, so that's why I
so
put the
you
K
put
in.
I like the K.
Yeah, I like the K too.
Mhm.
Yeah, definitely.
K Stein, you know.
Yes.
And so
K
this is Fortune's Horizon is
Yes.
about a Confederate woman living in France
Yes.
who then cooks up with a blockade runner.
Yes. To run back through the American blockade, the Union blockade, to go back into Charleston to deliver gold to the Confederacy.
Whoa.
Yes.
Ba-bam.
Ba-bam.
And then
Yeah.
they fall in love.
Right,
They don't
yes.
like each other, but then they really like
right,
each other.
yeah, they don't like each other. The captain is a stuffy Brit, and she's
Stuffy Brit.
she's an American, and she's very outspoken,
Yeah.
and she doesn't fit in with all the people. His family's very stuffy, but he runs the blockade under an assumed name because his father, he's the third son of an earl, so his family, so they're not embarrassed. He runs the blockade under an assumed name, but what a lot of people don't understand about the blockade runners is that huge syndicates built the boats. They were all these fast steamships, and they made them so that they were almost invisible in the water.
Really?
Paint them gray, make them,
And then they sank low.
Right, they were low in the water, and then they'd get special coal from Scotland so that you couldn't see the smoke from their
Whoa.
smokestacks. And every run that they made, the syndicates made $1 million in yet the 1863 money.
Wow.
It's like 63 million today.
Jeez.
Yeah.
A
The whole
fortune.
team?
So
Yeah.
a fortune.
Each run, because they were delivering they would deliver ammunition and guns and uniforms and shoes, things like that for the army, but also they would deliver things that people who lived in the South couldn't get any other way. So
Wow.
they'd pay a lot of money for it.
1 million.
Yeah.
Wow. No, like 63
63
million.
million nowadays.
So, but I mean, if you were caught, you were killed, right? I mean, you were.
Oh, well, if it just depended, because the people were more, it was like a gentleman's game.
Oh,
And
okay.
so what would happen is, if you got shot out of the water and your boat sank, you could drown. But if they captured you, then these boats all carried the British flag. So, and the captains, a lot of the captains were British. If they were British, they let them go. And a lot of the blockade runners were with the British Royal Navy as post captains, but they were all laid off because England wasn't at war. There were a lot of
My
them.
goodness. How much research did you put into these before you wrote them?
Well, this first one, probably a couple of years.
Well, yeah, this
Do you
was
have
your.
Yeah, that one I put a lot
Do you
of
have a
work into.
background in history? Or you- or
Not
it's just
really,
you-
just
you
that
needed
You're a
that?
journalist.
I'm a journalist.
Okay.
I'm used to doing research.
Yeah.
And
That's
you're
awesome.
and the captain in this one was loosely based on the real life captain you sailed with.
Yes, I worked for a gentleman from, he's a British delivery captain. I worked with him for 3 years, and we delivered yachts together, and he was really fascinated with this guy. So he did a lot of research in England for me with the Admiralty about this guy.
The Admiralty.
Yes.
The British Admiralty. Yes.
All right.
Yes, James. Yes, yes, yes. Bravo. So this is Fortune's Horizon. Now the sequel's coming out in a couple months. It's going to be E only, but
Yes.
it's Horizons East.
Horizons East, it's on pre-order right now on Amazon, and it's going. This one is on sale until the pre-order is finished, and on February 10th it goes live.
And it's same characters, different characters from the first.
Same characters, but the romance in the new one. This Jack turns up missing. He's gone to work for the Turkish Navy because the Turkish Sultan is having problems with the Greeks and blockades. So Jack's an expert at blockades because
Yeah.
he ran blockades for so long. And so the two of them, and they have a little boy by now. So they go to, they live on Rhodes, and he works for the the Turkish Navy. And he gets in the middle of this political snafu because the Sultan is getting ready to visit the Western countries in Europe, including Queen Victoria's court, and he's going to be the first Sultan in history of the Ottoman Empire to leave the empire. And so there's a lot of tension around it, and a lot of people in the court don't want him to go. So Jack gets caught in the middle, and he disappears. So Lily has to call on her godfather, who's a mercenary. He comes to help her, and Jack's brother shows up out of nowhere.
Dun dun dun.
Jack's brother is with he's at a station in India. He's with the Bombay Fusiliers, and he shows up because the Admiralty is not happy with Jack because they don't want him working for the Turks.
Gosh.
Wow.
So his
Oh my
brother,
God.
so
It's
much.
so cool.
That's
Oh my
awesome.
God.
So he shows up, and when he shows up, and he's like, I know that Jack can't be talked out of anything once he does it, but he said, they put me on leave to do this. I need to talk to him. And she's like, good, you're here. You can babysit. So she has him take care of the nanny and the little boy while she goes off to find Jack.
So that's coming up.
That's
Now,
coming
but
up.
you have Secret Harbor, which is your love affair, your romance pirates. Because who doesn't like
Pirates.
who doesn't like to be
pirate?
ravished by a pirate with a golden heart? I
Yes.
know.
Yes, this is
And
the pirate.
and you have a great opening
Yes.
where the heroine she's just coming out of the sea and she's in her shift,
Yes,
shift?
sort of.
but it's all filmy and wet, and then
Yeah.
the pirates come and sweep her away.
Yes.
Oh, it's very romantic.
Ooh.
It's
Yeah.
very, because it's a good
Like,
pirate, not a bad pirate.
He ends up being a good pirate,
Yeah.
actually.
And it's an older woman. So Marie,
He's a younger man, she's an older woman, and that's like,
the way God
yeah.
made it. No,
Well, here's the thing, is that in the romance, I belong to the Romance Writers of America. I've belonged to them for like 10 years now. And when you write historical romance, if you don't write Regency, you're in the closet. I mean,
Really?
you're just like, you're pond scum. You have to write Regency. Well, I don't write Regency because that's not my favorite period
Sure.
in history. So everything I write is set at sea, but it's in different time periods. This one is, that one was in 1863. This one is in 1759.
in the Caribbean.
Cool.
In the Caribbean, in the Sugar Islands. So
And it's a
set on there.
great read. I mean, because there's intrigue.
Yes.
Marie Gallant
Right.
has her crops, and so they're trying to.
She's trying to get her crops in because her husband just dropped over dead. And when he died, he said, "I'm sorry." And then he died. And she thought he was sorry because he was such an idiot. I mean, he was, he was constantly having affairs.
Oh,
But
man.
then she finds out the real reason he was sorry was because he gambled her plantation away.
Oh no.
So high stakes romance on the high seas with a captain, a seasoned captain, and the stories you can tell.
And
Oh
I
my
just got, I don't know whether I told you this, but I just got 2 reviews, one for each of these books, from a woman I took a class from she's a naval historian. And so I told her what kind of books I write. And she's like, well, let me look at them. She says, I don't usually read romance. But she says, if I like them, I'll review them. And she gave me 2 5-star reviews. for these
Awesome.
books.
Great
So she
job.
really
Because you
liked
know your sailing, you know your history, you know the pathways of the human heart.
it. Oh my
End of the
God.
scene.
Will you put that on my next book cover?
I'm working on it. Andrea K. Stein knows the paths of the human heart better than anyone.
End of the
Yeah,
sea.
that's right. That's
Paths of the sea.
The paths of the sea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So other than that, and then as soon as I finished the sequel to this one,
Secret
which is
Harbor.
Secret Harbor, there's a sequel to this called Rum Bay, and that's coming out by the end of February. And then after that, I'm gonna put out 4 steampunk
That you've been
fantasy.
working on.
Yeah, that I've been working on.
Steampunk romances.
Yeah.
Love
steam-
steampunk.
Dragons.
They're fantasies. It's kind of like Captain Nemo meets Viking berserkers.
And who doesn't want
That should be the blurb on the back. Like, you write your own blurb. And
Who doesn't want to see
Yeah.
that? Well, Andrea, I think we're at time.
Okay,
Yep.
good.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having
This has
me.
been so fun.
It
What a
has.
crazy day, meeting all
Crazy.
awesome authors. who are
Awesome authors.
Way out of my league, but
No, Cody
Oh.
May.
fun to hear.
We love you.
Hear about. So,
Well, thank you again.
thank you.
You're welcome.
This has been the Colorado Author Interview Circle. I'm Aaron Michael Ritchie.
And I'm Cody May.
Stay classy, Colorado.
Stay fashionable.
Fashionable.
We're running out of.
Stay seasick, Denver.